So this is Africa. So the good news is that the HIV prevalence finally started to decline among young women in this slice. So, around 35% to 20%, around 15% to less than 10%. It is very good progress. However, still, epidemic is too high, to accept. So this is several example of the countries in the sub-Saharan region. So in 2013, this is Botswana. So average, prevalence in the whole country is 21.9%. In Zimbabwe, it is 15%. Swaziland is 27.4%. So I have a student from Swaziland. He is now studying the HIV prevalence among the pregnant women. It's amazing. Even now, in the particular age group, like 25 to 35 years old, the HIV prevalence reaches more than 50%. So it is, still, epidemic is very serious in these countries. This is Lesotho, the small country. It is more than 20%. Namibia and Zambia and South Africa, it is 15 to 20% on average. Okay, so this slide shows what is going on in the North America or Western European countries. The example of US, France, Canada, Japan, and Germany and French. So in the 20th century, because of the discovery, invention of the ART, so number of AIDS cases declined. Then it is continuing so in this century. So unfortunately, only exception is Japan. So if I have time to discuss, I'll explain the reason why. So this is a number of reported HIV cases, reflecting the recent, infection. So up to the year of 2000, it looks stable. That's why, people are very optimistic about the future of epidemic in these countries. However, what happened is the increase, re-emerging the epidemic in these countries. This is UK. US is now having a very large epidemic. This is scale only for US. The other is the scale for a country other than US. So epidemic in US is very huge. And then, it looks increased. In France, Germany, it declined, but suddenly started to increase up this way. In Canada, it declined, but it started to increase again, then stabilized. Australia decreased, but started to increase again. So I think many people have not noticed that the epidemic in the Western countries is now getting worse. So this is because of the epidemic among men who have sex with men. This is US, the only population, only route of transmission is the sex between men. In Canada, also increasing. Australia, increasing, UK increasing, France, and Germany. So in most of the developed countries, the infection through sex between men is increasing. So many people, do you know, can you imagine why this is happening? So we'll discuss later. So this is the sexually transmitted disease cases, in Canada, Australia, USA, and UK. So the infection, chlamydial infection, increasing. This is both because of both the increase in incidence and increase in the testing rate. So it is mixed, trend. But in a gonorrhea and syphilis, it is very clear the disease started to increase again. So the gonorrhea is, started to increase in UK, in Australia, in Canada, and also US. So change in syphilis is more clear. In the US, it sharply declined, but started to increase again. UK and Canada and Australia. So the epidemic, outbreak of syphilis is experienced in many large cities of the developed countries. So the next slide shows the epidemic of syphilis in large cities of the US. So this is New York, this is Los Angeles, this is Atlanta, and San Francisco. So please see the circle very carefully. So this is a graph for men, this is a graph for women. So there is an increase of syphilis cases only in men, not in women. So the same for other cities. But exactly the same, outbreak happened not only in US, but in UK and Sweden, France, Germany, everywhere. Then, when we look more closely, actually I reviewed more than 60 articles to know what is happening. So according to the literature, these outbreaks occurring in large cities of all developed countries. This is one thing. 70 to 90% of patients of syphilis are MSM, men who have sex with men. And 40 to 50% of MSM with syphilis are HIV positive. So they're almost the same, across all studies. It's very amazing. It's very rare to see, the same epidemic, occurs, in the same way in the different, cities. So many people argues why this is happening. Is there anyone who can imagine why this is happening? Okay, yeah, that's true. So one reason is internet. It is now very easy to find a partner through internet. We can meet, anytime, any place. So it is one thing, discussed, responsible for this phenomenon. The other is, ART treatment. People, become healthy almost. They can behave, as if they have no disease, actually. So unfortunately, some people, continue to do the risky behaviors, with treatment. So this enhances the infection. So also, So because of the dramatic effect of ART, so society perceive AIDS is not a problem, not a serious problem anymore. So in many countries, AIDS campaign declined. So internet and treatment and the declined AIDS campaign is argued to be responsible for this phenomenon. Is there anyone who can point more reason? Shorten, please.
I think because of the social desirability in the past, but now it's more accepted. The men have the sex with men, so actually this rate of the men's sex were maybe the same at past, but now they are more like they are more free and they recognize more men that have sex with men, so they actually recognize more cases in comparison with the past.
I see. So you mean that society may become
because in the past it's a very like abomination and it's like a stigma, but now in many, especially in US, they are more like free to express their sexual desirability. So maybe this is because this sex between men were as the same as the past, but now there are more cases that like it's like a disease that where in the past now they diagnose more, so the prevalence is increasing.
Okay, thank you. Make it short. Thank you. Okay, so I think it is also the point. Okay. So this is what's happening, going on in Asia. So again, in Asia, the epidemic among MSM is increasing. This is Thai, Bangkok. This is Vietnam, the Indonesia, and the Philippines. So next slide shows the result of HIV sentinel surveillance in China. So from the year 2000 to 2014. So while the prevalence among injection drug users declining, the prevalence sex workers declining, the MSM, prevalence among MSM keep going up. Also, the prevalence among STD patients also increasing. So this is slide comparing China, Taiwan, and South Korea. So in all countries, HIV and AIDS cases are increasing. In Korea, it is they only report mixing HIV and AIDS, so we cannot separate HIV/AIDS in South Korea. But anyway, it is increasing. So by looking at transmission categories, the MSM, men who have sex with men, is increasing rapidly. And in Taiwan, they experience a very sharp outbreak of epidemic among injection drug users. It's soon contained. They instead, now epidemic among MSM is dominant, followed by heterosexual infection. This South Korea, it looks like MSM is also playing an important role in the epidemic.